It's C-Doc again.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday night. It's C-Doc again. I'm your host, C-Doc. I'm here to host the show. And just to let you know, if you like what we do here at Channel Zero, please like and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. Send us a comment or two. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Be nice to your friends. Or don't. But it's better if you're nice. Anyway, we got a hell of a show tonight. Jam-packed. Special guests. Some you know. Some you may not. Whatever. It's all good. It's going to be fun. And we're going to celebrate the release last week's end of the week's release of an epic album that we put out on the Spit Slam record label group, who is our sponsor, if you will. And just to let you know who we are, here we go.
The Spit Slam record label group, a Chuck D situation. Catch us on your favorite streaming platform, on Bandcamp, or visit our official web store at spitslamrecords.com. All releases are available digitally or on CD, with select titles available on vinyl and cassette. The Spit Slam record label group. Throwback to the future sound.
That was a weird one, huh? I've never seen it freeze before. Did it freeze for everybody? That was strange. And then it sped up. Anyway, that's who we are, Spit Slam record label group. I'm going to bring in my co-hosts here, and I see like the green room is filling up fast, so we're not going to waste a lot of time tonight. But coming straight out of Louisville, the hard rock Louisville, are the Spit Slam social media manager, So Chuckified.
What's up?
How are you, sir?
I am good. Just sipping on a ice cold Sprite, who is an unofficial sponsor of It's a C-Doc again. So
yeah. Tonight's episode brought to you by Spit Slam record label group and Sprite.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excited about this show. I am a little concerned about all the white people that'll be on, but you know.
Yeah, well.
So we've got Phill and hopefully all the Sensei rolling through. So.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it won't be as white. Maybe a little off-white. So, speaking of off-white, that was terrible. Anyway, let's take it to the west side with Our Lady from the heyday of K-Day, Jennifer O. Jenny.
J-O-J.
To the west side. And hi.
Dr. Pepper.
That's a Pepsi product. What the hell, dude?
Man, I'm drinking water like a sucker. Jeez.
And that's that fake water too, dude. That's just tap water they put in bottles.
It's the better. It's Deer Park, so it's the better tap water.
Deer Park.
Yeah, it's not the.
Sponsored by
What's the Coca-Cola water? It's that shit is swill.
Aquafina or whatever.
No, not even that one. It's something worse. Also coming from the west side, the northwest side, if you will, our man from the hip hop gods and rap stations president, Flatline in the house. Dun, dun, dun.
Do you need a drum roll?
I don't know. I'm improvising.
That works. Wow.
Hello, everyone.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm not drinking water.
Oh, man, see?
Not even bourbon and water?
No, sir.
No ice?
A little bit of ice in there. A little
Okay.
bit.
You get a little water.
Yeah.
What up, Ultra Mag?
What a way to go. Dasani, yes, thank you. Wisdom Beats, broke ass Dasani water. Thank you, Knackworks. Yes, terrible.
Broke ass. Wow.
Broke ass. That shit is the worst. I don't know, geez. I don't know. Maybe Mara will bring me a drink later. She said she was going to mix something up. So, anyway.
Yes, the T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. You got the Yag Fu front. Freaking all the stunts. Nice.
Very nice.
Fantastic.
Mm,
See, even the birds love it. Yeah.
right?
Tell that bird I'll get with her later.
That's a boy.
Well,
But whatever smokes your shorts, I don't care.
Smokes your shorts.
how do you tell the sex of a bird? I mean, honestly.
Don't they have
You really
bird
want to
wangs?
know? You feel them up.
There you
Genuinely
go.
interested. I mean, do they have enough down there for you to be able to like?
No, you have to literally feel them up.
Hmm.
And if the bones are really wide, it's because they're going to pass an egg, and if they're not, it's because they can't.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, my bones
Or
are real
you
together.
yank a feather and you send it in, and they do a DNA.
Hmm. Interesting.
Okay.
You
Now
The
didn't
more you know.
ornithologist.
Bird up.
Listen. At least it's not the other bird, because she has much more colorful language.
Bird up. Anyway, that's a Tim and Eric gag right there. But they're not Tim and Eric. Sorry, Eric Andre. All right. Now that we've talked about feeling up birds,
The show's gone to the birds.
yep. Now that we've really taken it there tonight. Yeah. Anyway,
Our guests are leaving. They're like, "Fuck this."
yeah, they're like, "Fuck this show." What the hell? What the hell is wrong with you?
You got me on here.
You know, Jesus. I don't blame them either.
I know.
Oh well, so our first guest I'm bringing on, I like to, he's I like to call him my DJ, because he's my DJ really on the show. So welcome back, DJ MROK.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, what's up?
Rock.
Drinking the hard shit tonight. Got bubbly pineapple coconut.
Oh,
Wow.
It's about as street as he gets right there.
you're not messing around, bro.
No,
Dude,
no.
it's like a beach knee high. I love
Next
peach
time.
knee high.
MROK, again, congratulations on the album release.
Oh man, thank you so much. Thanks for having us back, or having me back, and then
Of course.
some awesome people tonight. I'm gonna shut up tonight and let them do the talking. But thank you for having me back, man.
I just lost my artwork. Oh, damn it. No, thank you. Look, here we go. MROK is back.
I am.
Who did the album cover?
Oh, that is Dan Lish, the immortal Dan Lish. He does a lot of incredible hip hop stuff.
Incredible.
Yeah.
He's the best.
What other artwork has he done?
Well, he did artwork for El Sensei. So when I told El that we're getting Dan Lish, he's like, "Oh, that's dope. Tell Dan I said hi." So they've done stuff before. He's done a lot of Wu-Tang stuff before. He did an Ultramagnetic MC's cover, and then I found out that he did a Phill Most Chill and Joe Run Bombay cover. That if people didn't know, they would think that we bit that cover. I was like, oh my God, it's a little too close. Go look up Joe Run PMC and you will see the cover. And it's like, oh, yeah.
Left
Well-
a couple of layers in Photoshop.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? Oh, there you go. Okay.
That's dope.
Raekwon, what is that? 2017, The Wild. He did that album cover.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, right now let's bring on your cohorts on this project. Tower of Babylon,
Partners in crime.
partners in crime, comrades, if you will, if we're going to take it back to the USSR. Yeah, so coming from the Outsider Syndicate, Bay Area, ladies and gentlemen, Nord1kone and Limit Break in the house together tonight.
Yo,
Yo, what's up, y'all?
What's up?
what's up, gentlemen?
Chilling. Much love from San Francisco, y'all. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So, so let's MROK on for those who didn't see the listening party on Thursday. Oh yeah, what are you drinking? Sorry, I got ahead of myself. What are you drinking? Truly?
Yeah, we drinking these like hard seltzer things.
Okay, all right.
Normally we drink 40s, but we do that for y'all.
All right, I feel like I'm slacking here. I'm gonna have to go get a beer, and I don't even drink beer. No, I was gonna say on Thursday we had the listening party, and MROK said that the genesis of this project was because of you, Nord1kone. You had reached out to him. Can you tell us that story real quick?
Yeah, I reached out because I was trying to sharpen just different styles of rhymes, different patterns and flows that I wanted to just sharpen my awareness of and my ability to perform in competition or on the stage. So who better to be influenced by than Big Daddy Kane? So I reached out to my man MROK because I knew he had it up his sleeve for sure. I said, hey, can we cook something up that Big Daddy Kane would want to rap on? And lo and behold, we had the original, which was the first track that we did for the album. Yeah,
excellent. And so MROK, you said the rest of the album kind of spun off of that. Is that right?
Yeah, it sure did. Nordic set the bar on that one, so we're like, let's just keep that energy going. Let's do a whole album like that.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
When did you guys decide to say, you know what, we're gonna go for broke and try to get a whole bunch of legendary guests on this record? Because I mean, you guys stack the deck with the guests.
It's hella funny. I was just talking to Elder Sensei about this. I said, because he told me that when we did Escape the Yard, he was like, man, I feel like you guys drove the vehicle and I just got to be in the passenger seat and it was a super dope experience. And I got to say, on this one, we were laughing. We said MROK's like a stunt driver because this time he drove the vehicle and look what he did with it.
Man, did he ever? Jeez.
Yeah.
I do remember talking to him some days when he was in the middle of making it, where I thought he was going to drive it off the cliff, but he held it together. So.
Yo, in the Syndicate, you definitely the getaway driver, man. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic, and the fact that you guys got the guests that are on. You want to run down the list, MROK?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and big up, I salute and respect to everyone that touched the album. I wish we could have everybody on, but we'd have like a tiny little, a million tiny little screens on here. So, but shout out and salute to everybody. So we got Chuck D, the hard rhymer. We got Cool G Rap, Master Ace, and Craig G. That's 3 legendary members of the Juice Crew on the same album. We got Donald D from the Bronx and the Rhyme Syndicate. We got Phill Most Chill, El Sensei, Chip Fu from the Fooshniggins, Chill Rob G, Gift of Gab, rest in peace. The whole album is dedicated to his memory. Then we got Chris Peen from Spit Slam, Black Medine from Spit Slam, The Impossibles from Split Slam. Blah, I can't talk. We got Lavender from Canada. We got the IMF from the Outsider Syndicate, AO Lyrical from the Outsider Syndicate, and Cy4. Not to mention the 2 gentlemen here sitting with me who this album would not be possible without. We got Nord1kone and on the cut, an amazing producer, Limit Break. So shout out to everyone.
Yeah. Damn, man. Well, since we couldn't have we didn't get everybody here, but we got somebody else here, a special guest, and we could bring him on right now. Somebody that's been in the game for a long, long time. Ladies and gentlemen, Phill Most Chill in the place
Yo.
to be.
Yo,
What's up? Spit Slam fam. Good
What's
to
up,
be here
bro?
with everybody.
Great to have you.
And Rock, congratulations on a great album. I'm honored to be a part of it, no doubt.
Oh, thank you, bro. We're honored to have you on it, man. You crushed both songs, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Philly in the house, represent.
Phill, what attracted you to the music, the project?
Just I guess the enthusiasm that MROK had about it. Of course, just to be associated with Spit Slam, you know, anything that's associated with Chuck D, that's one of my hip hop heroes right there. So I definitely that was something that compelled me to get down with it. And then I heard the beats and everything. I was like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do this.
Because Phill, you're if for those who don't know, because we got to let them know, you know, it's kind of in your wheelhouse, you know, MROK style and everything.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. I'm known, you know, I'm kind of pigeonholed sometimes, but I'm known for you know, really hardcore, old school type hip hop beats, and I can see that's what MROK specializes in. So yeah, when I heard the music, it's like right up my alley.
Right. Yeah, man. And so yeah, I think you were the only guest that came on 2 joints, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because, you know, I think I didn't really understand the assignment. I didn't really know what I was kind of thinking it was just my song. Then I realized, oh wait, it's not really mine. I think I don't even remember. I did like extra lyrics. I ended up doing like 3 verses all together. So, you know, that's cool that you were able to take the one and salvage it and put it with another song. So yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, man. It was too good to just leave sitting there. I'm like, oh no, we're working with this. Yep. We're gonna squeeze every drop out of these verses. So we did, man. So thank you.
No doubt. Yep.
You killed it.
So Nord1kone, where did the concept, the whole Tower of Babylon concept theme come from? And how close did you kind of stick to it, or was it just more of a loose idea to base the record on?
Well, you know, it's funny because I listened to the listening party. So the other night, you guys did a great job summing it up. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
It was just funny because I just felt like, okay, it's a fast breakbeat album. And that's the way, you know, MROK and I sort of discussed it coming together as like a break album. And then it just sort of works because, you know, not only did MROK explain the idea beautifully of the story of the Tower of Babylon, and I'm sure you can explain it again in just a moment for the people, but I also just felt like I was just sitting there running my mouth babbling. So like, you know, it turned out to be a pretty good crosshair, blending the 2 scenarios together.
Oh, okay. So there was no real, okay, gotcha. I understand. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, MROK, would you like to explain the album or re-explain the theme like you did?
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
You did it very well.
So, you know, we had all this amazing talent, you know, people like Phill Most Chill representing Philly. And then one of our MCs lives out in Italy. And then you have people spread out all across the country. So, you know, the Tower of Babel is a legendary, you know, religious story where there's basically a huge community of people that all speak the same language that decide one day that they're going to build a giant tower so that they can get closer to God. They can touch the sky. They can do all these things. And the way the story goes is that God was like, oh, no, you don't. No. So he dispersed everybody, and he did it in a way where they couldn't understand each other, and they all had different languages. And so when they tried to revisit the idea, they couldn't communicate. So that's the story in a nutshell. And if I'm blasphemizing it or anything like that, please forgive me. But that's the story. Now, we were like, hey, we have all these different voices from all these different parts of the world, really, you know, Canada, Italy, US, all, you know, with different styles, different flavors, different tones. And we thought, you know, we're all coming together to kind of build this album together like a tower. So Tower of Babylon spun out of that. So that's how the whole concept kind of came about.
Brick by brick, no doubt.
As a preacher's kid, I fully endorse that.
Awesome.
If everyone could just touch your screen right now.
All right, I'm opening to my co-host. I'm opening up because I've been hogging this whole interview. So please, ask questions.
Hit
Okay.
it flatline.
Yeah. MROK, I want to know how you managed to get a verse from Chip Fu, because he had not really rhymed on anything, at least that I know of, in like the last decade plus. He had done hooks for people, but no verses. How did you manage to get this out of him?
Man, just like being able to work with Phill Most, I was just honored to be able to work with Chip. And, as much as I am a producer and a beat maker and a DJ, I'll always be a fan. And I just, as a fan, approached Chip and then approached him again and then approached him again. And I was telling him about the project.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, this project isn't going to be the same without you on it. Really would love your work, please, and basically I just kept at it. And I was not trying to be like a pain in his, ass or anything like that. But I think just being able to kind of just stick with it. And of course, compensate him for his efforts and everything. And then I got the verse and I was so thrilled when I heard it. It was awesome. And I know he's got an album coming out soon. And I think right now he's just kind of finalizing things. So we will be hearing more from Chip Fu. But yeah, shout out to Chip.
Yeah.
So to paraphrase, there was a lot of begging going on. I think.
Yes.
Who, me?
We gotta all take drinks in sync there.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Phill, are you drinking water?
I'm drinking water. That's all I drink, man.
All right, okay. So I'm not alone. Thank you. That's
Oh,
okay.
God. Okay, at least he's got somebody with him.
Wasn't gonna let it go, Jen. Jeez.
I guess not.
Yeah. Chuckified, you got a question?
Yeah, I'm wondering about Phil's background. What is that? Is that like gold? Is that your paint? Is it gold paint?
Cabinets.
Oh, you're saying background. I thought you meant like my background music or life or something. You mean
No.
the actual background. This is my I'm in my dining room right now. We have my wife got a really nice color gold paint. I guess it's gold. I don't know what you call it, but it's like mustard, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, that's all it is.
No, it's a dope color. It's like it kind of brings out a whole aura. So I'm like admiring it. Anyway, so you'll find that my questions are a little scattershot. So, so you're in Philly. So how do you feel about the rap game up in Philly, like right now? What do you think about it?
Oh, I'm old school, man. So like what's happening now in Philly, I don't even really know, to be honest with you. I know a few names, but I don't really follow it. I'm like stuck in the past, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I don't even really know what's happening in Philly as far as the rap game goes. I couldn't even tell you.
Gotcha. Now, do you still do shows and things, or do you keep in the network, so to speak, or are you just kind of jumping on albums, creating music, that kind of thing?
Just making music right now. If something comes up where, there's some real, some lucrative opportunities for doing shows, I'll do it. But like the days of me just like doing shows, just to do them or whatever, for pizza money or something. Yeah, I'm not doing any of that at all.
Gotcha.
Oh, the good old days.
The good old days, right? Yeah, leave those in the past. That's where they belong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good tip, OG.
Yep. All right. So
I just want to say shout out to Phill. Like a lot of people don't realize that Phill is an amazing producer in addition to being an amazing MC and just multi-talented dude. And dude, I just want to say once again, man, it was an honor to work with you on this album, and I hope we can keep it going, bro, because it was amazing.
Oh yeah, no, same here, man. Just this is just the beginning. I'm hoping, and we can do a whole lot more in the future.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. For those that don't know, man, Phill been in it for a minute, so he's a legendary status here, hip hop god.
Heck yeah. Oh, yo, Phill. So I kind of realized after the fact that our album cover looks a little bit like your Joe Run PMC cover.
Yeah, I
Sorry
heard
about
you say.
that.
I heard you saying that. It's Dan Lish is great art either way you look at it. But I think they're different. I mean, there's always going to be some little similarities because his style is his style. But
Yeah.
I think they're unique. I wouldn't worry about that at all.
All right, cool.
I don't feel like you were biting from me, so it's all good.
All right, good. Yeah, man. Not here to bite anyone. That's for sure.
Oh man. Well, real quick, because he's now in the house tonight. I want to bring on another guest from the Artifacts and a monster solo artist in his own right. Ladies and gentlemen, Sensei.
Peace. What up, y'all?
What up, bro?
Yo, what up, L?
All right.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime, man. Anytime. So let's talk about your joint on this album on the Tower of Babylon record. So was it let's talk about your process real quick. And did you have anything in mind ahead of time, or was it strictly dictated by the music?
No, he played me the track. Prior, actually, me and MROK got together. I had to come out there. I told him I would rather be there with him to record what we was doing, and I have a better chemistry sometimes with that. I always do stuff at home, whether I have to email the tracks back or the WAV files. But I actually told him I would rather be there. We set up an in-store at the Thingamajig spot where he DJs at on Sundays, just to really have maximize what we was doing other than just recording. So in between doing that and eating some good food in the neighborhood and buying some ill kicks, we recorded the verse then. And like I said, I heard the track already, and then Nord1kone was there as well, so he recorded his verse there that day. And I had did a song prior with Phill with my man Illmind and Symbolic One and Chip. I had did 2 verses for the song, and we all in the room, and they asked me like, "Yo, you mind him getting on the song?" I said, "Really? You asking me that?" You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan, so he got on the record, but he destroyed the record. And I told MROK this, and I said, "Yo, like, I knew what he was capable of as a fan, but to see him do that day." So it was an honor for me to get on another record with him, and now it's even faster than what we was doing before, but it was a whole different vibe. So the approach for me was just like simple. When you listen to both of them rhyming back to back, I knew I couldn't come any different way. I had to do the same, not say cadence, but the same speed, and where we had to keep this tempo going and actually like it's like a relay race passing the baton.
Hell yeah.
I got your lyrics right here,
Word,
man.
No doubt.
I still gotta frame these, bro.
No, yeah, hey, look. I leave them everywhere. I tell you, sometimes people think I forget that I left them there, but I leave them there just for for them to have.
That's funny, man. I just saw another sheet of yours that you left today over in San Francisco. Last time we did some damage over.
Oh yeah, see, look, yeah, I did leave it there. Yeah.
I just saw those today because I did some damage today. So I was like, oh,
okay.
There they are.
Yo, congrats on the Artifacts release, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, thank you. And I want to tell everybody that's out there, okay, the vinyl is out, the CD is out. So it's a it's a yellow vinyl, color vinyl, it's a black vinyl. There's a velour cover, a limited edition CD out, along with the regular version. The digital version, the rollout ain't been too good. It's been like Obamacare when you come to the digital version. So we still waiting for that to be launched out. So, but I let everybody know the album is out there. Once the digital goes up, because a lot of people today, it's kind of in the reverse. I wanted the rollout to go a different way, but the album is out. But it's for people that want to hear it. They want to hear. That's why they want the digital to come up. So I understand that, but that's why I've been putting little clips and everything like that. Everything don't always work out the way you want it to, but one of these mornings I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna see the digital version up there. So until then, yeah, the album is definitely out. So we're gonna be shooting videos for the album very soon, and a proper promo launch. But in the meantime, yes, it is out. SmokeOnRecords.com. Anybody that wants to purchase the album, you can go on SmokeOnRecords.com. Go to the vinyl section, you'll see the vinyl right there. Go to the CD section, you'll see the CD. And for anybody that ordered one already, they go shipping out at the end of this month.
Dope. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
I heard that project, and I can assure everybody listening on this channel that it is hella dope, like hella dope. So
I appreciate you, Nordic. We had a nice little drive going back and forth up the coast, so that was a good time to listen to it. MROK heard it. I just things, people like them, I trust their ear to tell me the truth, and I want everybody to always tell me the truth. So the good reaction from y'all, that helped me out a lot. So I appreciate that.
Can't beat new artifacts, man. Can't beat that.
No, hey, we trying to keep it going. There's a few records floating out there right now, other than the album. We got a 12-inch 45 out right now with my man DJ Crucial called Jersey Endurance. I got a single with the same label. Well, Jim Pool Room and F5 Records is a Signature Funk 45 out there right now. So we're always working as far as just keeping the buzz out there and keeping the brand out. But this Artifacts record is the first record we had like a full project in over 20-something years. So, it was time for that. But it's a whole bunch of other music that's going on. Me and MROK working on some new music. Nord1kone, LMT Break. We got a record out on their record as well. I'm always available. I work with my friends a lot. I work with a lot of new artists a lot. Is always ways to get people on and still stay relevant yourself, especially when the opportunity's out there to take. But I always tell people the day that my phone stopped ringing and the emails stopped showing up asking for features and the promoters stopped asking for shows, and I start hearing, this is whack. And I'm like, all right, then I'm ready to stop. but until then, I'm gonna keep going.
yeah.
Well, L, looks like Volstix is you got a sale there. So yeah.
What do you think? My credit card.
Yeah. It's in his fucking hand, dude. So yeah, there you go. So it's good that you announced that. So hey, real quick, because we haven't heard from him yet. Limit Break. What was it? With MROK being the DJ, I was actually surprised when he told me. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna let Limit Break do all the cuts. I was like, word, okay. So obviously you guys have slightly different styles, but how did you approach the record? Did MROK give you any direction, or were you able to kind of bring your own flavor to the table?
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to him ever since he put out that first tape, back in 2017. So I kind of had an idea of have an idea of what his style is. I think we have different styles of production, but we come kind of from the same place in a way, our influences. So when he sent me the songs, I just listened to them, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to fit into what the titles of the songs were, what their songs were about. There weren't a lot of hooks on the song, so I knew I had to pick the right words. I didn't want to try to be too technical or anything, and it took me about a day or two to kind of figure out what I was going to use. And I, ended up choosing a lot of sounds that were kind of from the late 80s, early 90s era. And I just try to fit into the vibe, not try to overpower the music, and just try to make it, have a lot of energy without being too much, too much going on. And you did a great job of mixing it together, and it kind of blends right in with the beats and the lyrics and everything. And so I was just really excited because for me, MROK, he puts everything in the right place. Every drop, every little sound is bam, it's oh, it's perfectly there. So when he asked me, I was like, man, you could do all the cuts because I love your scratches, everything always fits perfectly. And when he asked me, I was like, hell yeah, I'll do it. You tell me anything you want, man, I'll do it for you because this guy, he's killing it right now. So I was just honored to do it. And, I did it about a week, it kind of took my time, and, hopefully people like it. I think he did well to put it all together. you know, and I was just really excited to work on the album. I think it's super dope. You know, everyone came off like, you know, great. You know, it's just like it's an incredible album, man. You know, it's great to be a part of. You know, everyone that's involved, it's just like a dream come true. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, man, thank you for that, bro. Yeah, you know, I'm definitely I'm like you, Phill, man. I don't know if it's like stuck in the past or whatever, but I'm deeply rooted in late 80s, early 90s. That's the sound that just seems to flow through me. And my cut technique is very much the same. It's more, you know, things were a little more basic back then. There's a lot of baby scratching, transformers, you know, some chirps, some scribbles. Now, man, it's like super technical, and Limit's got that super technical side. Like you could hear, he was like telling himself he had to hold back on it. But if you hear the cuts on this album, it doesn't sound like he held back at all, man.
No, not at all. Not even on the Shogun joint. Like I'm hearing Antoinette in the background. I'm hearing
There you go.
other voices in there. So that caught me when I heard that, because I heard the voice, but not until the end of the hook is when you hear her voice really good. But I knew who it was when I heard it. But it was like everything else that was mixed in with it, the sounds that was inside the hook that was different from what we was rocking on in the verse. It really built up to even the end. It's not a lot of times you get records today where the DJ get the blackout all the way at the end till the record is over. So that was a treat as well.
Yeah. Thank you for noticing that. That's like one of my favorite female MCs ever, right there. You know, I love.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, super dope.
Yeah, so shout out. I got to ask a question. So I'm sitting here. I got Phill Most Chill on one side. I got El DeSanta on the other. Do you know each other? Have you worked together? Do you listen to each other? Like,
I'm a big fan of L's and all the artifact stuff. And so just like it was an honor for me to be on this record with all these great MCs. Also, I was on another record with him that we did with my guy Specific over in the UK.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that was an honor as well, brother. No doubt.
No doubt, man. See, look, there's a lot of records out there. I mean, but this is what it's about. This is what it's about. But I definitely remember that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna throw this out. Just, you know, the Phill Most Chill, El DeSanta.
Oh, come on, look. You ain't saying nothing but a word. MROK know.
Yep. Let's go.
MROK know. Oh, he leave it up to him. He got the track. I'm ready.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like a great idea.
Look, we already working on something already. So, you know.
Right.
There we go.
We're not gonna bring that up yet. Yeah, we'll come back to that. We'll bring you back on another episode, Al. And
no doubt.
When we get closer to that, and you too, Phill. Actually.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know me. I'm ready to go, man.
Yep, exactly. So, I do want to shed some light on something. For Nord1kone and Limit Break to talk about real quick. Talk about the Outsider Syndicate, the crew that you guys are a part of. Let's let people know about what you guys do and what's going on with that.
Okay, yeah. So Outsider Syndicate started about 10 years ago, right here on the California coast side in El Granada. I was just learning so much about hip hop from one of my original hip hop mentors, Decrepit One, who dope graffiti writer, dope rhymer, also could produce a little bit. And over the years, it's sort of like, as we folded in different people and folded them out, but then like it didn't really feel right until I heard Limit Break and IMF's Grime Status. And there's a reason it's the Outsiders. At that point when I founded it, I felt like what we were doing was outside of what was going on, what the norm was, what the trend was. Everybody's rapping a certain kind of way over a certain kind of beat, and I wanted to be hardcore. I wanted to be old school. I wanted to like capture the crowd with an acapella and then go into some shit. And so when I saw the IMF and Limit Breaks performing, what happened is that IMF was like, yo, I'm giving away tickets to my show in Santa Cruz. And thank God my Instagram glitched, because my comment that I put up to get the tickets like posted 3 or 4 times, like I was just blowing it up. And so then he was like, oh yeah, you get the tickets with you and your girl. And I was like, It's hella funny because I had known him in some capacity beforehand, but like I thought he was dope. But then I heard him over this guy's beats, and I was like, yo, like what, like everything I was doing, I just released a project called Delirium, like that everything I was doing was headed in the same direction as they were, except they were there already and taking it further. Is how I felt. So Lemon Break ended up, you know, I mailed him a CD for him to listen to, and he listened to it, got back to me, said it was dope. And then he came over, and the first track we ever made together that day was called Respect the Skill. So that started off our relationship.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, when I met this guy at the show, you know, he just was ready. They come up to me, was like, oh, that was a dope video. I heard that song. And, you know, I could already tell he was a listener. You know, a lot of times you meet someone at the show and, like, they never even heard your music before. And they'll just say what's up and this and that. You know, but he already knew the video. He heard the song. He heard the album. And then he invited me to his house. And when I came over, you know, I don't really like to make beats in front of people for the most part. I like to do it by myself, you know. But this was like one of the first people that I felt like when I sat down in front of him and made the beat, like he already understood what the process was, you know, chopping the drums, chopping the sample. It ain't going to be done like in 10 minutes, you know what I mean? But we just sat there and we just like vibed off the beat. And, you know, he wrote to it while I was making it. And it felt like just real, like organic and real. Like, okay, this is someone I could work with, and then, you know, we become friends, and it's just like, you know, the whole thing kind of just worked out for us. And we probably like a few months earlier, we had met MROK through the IMF, you know, just like listening to his music that he dropped the tape. What was the Beast for Days? Was it? No, the one before that. I'm sorry.
Wax Nostalgic.
Yeah, right.
Wax
Yeah. So we were listening.
Project.
We were bumping that for like months, you know, before we even met him. We are like, oh, this kid, you know, he's dope, man. This dude from Chicago, or whatever, you know, and we all just started talking, you know, and it all just became like this thing where it was like we had something in common that was, you know, just real. It was cool, you know. And so we're just trying to build. And, you know, for me, the Outsiders is just that we're just trying to be different than what was going on here in the underground, you know, in the Bay Area. You know, I grew up listening to like King Tech and Sway when I was like a junior high kid, you know, and that was like Bay Area hip hop for me, you know. So that's kind of like I guess, where I come from, you know, Invisible Scratch Pickles and all that, you know. I guess right. I didn't follow the other side of the Bay, and we just kept going with this sound, you know.
Underground, hardcore style, you know, that's really what we bring to the table. We folded in Jimmy Beats from here on the coast. We folded in A.O. Lyrical from the Far East Bay in Pittsburgh. And then, of course, we folded in MROK. And we also got a dude up there in Canada named D4th. And, of course, we got to mention Chef Mike and the Common and Normal crew out there in Detroit. They holding it down on that lo-fi sound that we tap into sometimes ourselves. So, you know, we've got a diverse squad. All of us are very dedicated to what we do. And, you know, the thing about the Syndicate, I think that it really like stands out between all of us is that we genuinely, number one, like each other. And number two, like I'm a huge ass fan. Like I'm a huge fan of Limit Break. I'm a huge fan of MROK. I'm a fan of Chef Mike. I'm a fan of the IMF. I'm a fan of A.O. Lyrical. I'm a fan of Jimmy Beats. I grew up watching Jimmy Beats rap. And so like, to me, like I'm a genuine person who appreciates what they do, which is why it's such an honor to roll together in a crew and just completely destroy shit when we show up.
That's dope. When MROK told me about the crew, obviously my first mental comparison was hieroglyphics. So, you know, that's what kind of reminded me of the whole early hiero movement. So Bay Area, yada yada. I know it's pretty on the nose, but yeah.
Well, you know, shit. That's somebody's calling me. We remind them of hieroglyphics. I'm gonna say, hell, motherfucking yeah. That's great. And we love Hyro. Obviously, that's a huge influence on our sound. So that's, you know, for us, that's that hard sound with the big breaks. I mean, I can hear it in his music, the influence there. And then, you know, I think we get our influences from all over the world, east, west, and everywhere. But we definitely love where we're at. We sort of be rooted here in the Bay with that big sound.
What's the, you know, are you guys, what's the scene like out there these days?
So the scene in the Bay is interesting. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. And there's essentially different crews going around, like different teams doing different promotion. And again, because we're the outsiders, you know that we're on the outside of all this, just looking at it and appreciating sort of each scene for what it is. But, you know, like, you can't really speak about Bay Area influence without, one, hieroglyphics, right? But two, you know, since Hyro was over in Oakland and he's in San Francisco, IMF's in San Francisco, and I'm just south of San Francisco with Jimmy Beats, you got to talk about Board Stiff and Equipto and the influence he has. So he is still very active, making a crew out of super dope rhymers, guys like old OSK, pardon me, and hella other crews are dope. Like, there's a lot of dope rappers out here, and I'm a super competitive person, so it's hard for me to admit that. And but you know, it makes it fun because you go out and you see these guys rhyme and you get inspired. And so, you know, that's what I think about the scene out here.
That's
What
cool.
I mean, it's different. I kind of grew up, you know, following the turntable scene, like when it was really big here, like in like 97, 96 to like 98, I guess, where, you know, I could like literally walk down my street, go to the bar, and I was seeing like Shortcut, like DJ in a basement, you know, and then DJ Quest upstairs. And like, I grew up watching that, you know, and that was the scene for me. Like, I got to see like all these great DJs before they kind of migrated, kind of moved to the LA, you know, and that, you know, I would go to a show and I would see them perform, and then I would see like, there'll be Dell or, you know, hieroglyphics like we were talking about, you know, Saphir. It was just all kind of blended together at that time in the 90s, you know. Like, we don't really have that anymore. It's, you know, people have kind of moved on and all that, and it's different now. I would just say it's different. The scene is different. The people are different. There's a lot of younger people that are coming up and doing their own thing, you know. But with the whole Outsiders thing and what me and IMF were doing with the grime status, I kind of wanted to try to like just keep that going in a way, you know. A lot of emphasis on like turntablism, lyricism, like dirty beats straight from the MPC, you know. There's always a place for that, and I just wanted to keep doing that, you know. That's what I've always loved. That's what I grew up watching, and so that, I think that's what we do, you know. Just music we love, you know. That's all it is.
Yeah,
that's the other thing that sort of unites the Bay is everybody, like, even though there's hella different cultures, hella different styles, hella different crews out here, like, when everybody comes together, I think a unique special thing about the Bay is that it's all about like equality and appreciation of the art form. And like, so you go rock a show in one neighborhood and like somebody is going to sit there and listen to the whole show and appreciate it. And you can do that all over the Bay because people really enjoy the culture out here. That's for sure.
That's dope. Yeah, that's dope. And kind of rare too. Because I know it's not, I'm in Pittsburgh and it's not quite like that here, you know. So right. Unfortunately, but yeah, no, that's dope. So real quick, Phill, I wanted to ask you, since Elle mentioned they got the new artifacts out, what's your most recent project you got out right now? You can let everybody else know.
Oh man, it's so many of them. I can't even keep track of like what's the last thing. I'd have to think about that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
No, I got the joint with my little group, Analog Mutants, which consists of DJ Snafu, who's worked with some people that are affiliated with Spit Slam. He worked with Chill Rob G, and some other people, and DJ Grasshopper. So we just put out a single a little while ago, and we have an album that's going to be coming out too, probably next year, I guess, maybe. So it's that, and then just multiple other little projects here and there.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but I stay busy. It's like, yeah, when people call me and ask me to do something, I do it, you know.
Yeah.
More than I don't. So, you know, yeah. So I stay busy doing whatever comes up.
No, that's dope. That's dope. Well, and like, oh yeah, here. And Mr. Chuck says, these bros busy as hell. Phill is fool. So there you go. Yeah, he was shout out Rap Station earlier, Flatline, of course, and can attest that, you know, they play all your guys' music. So at Rap Station. Wait, Elle, you're muted. You're muted, Elle. We can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Okay.
All right, my bad. I muted myself. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
That's all right. Now we can hear you.
Well, what I was saying was, I always shout these dudes, hip hop guys, Flatline. I mean, like pretty much for the last few years have supported me in a way where not a lot of radio stations have, and I can't say nothing but big thank yous for that because a lot of times we do these records. I do a lot of records with a lot of people, and there's a lot of features that's out there. And you know, I do this because I know there's cats out there that don't have the means to do a lot of records with so-called artists as myself. So everybody get a chance. But I also know and have found out that these guys learn the game and how to promote these records. So I always put my best foot forward with a lot of these records because you never know who they are, where they may live at, you know, who they're attached to, and their means of getting it out there. So a lot of these people now put it out there. So it's like, okay, you know, and I see them promote and they might ask me to shoot a video that go with the song, no different than me and Limit Break did in Nordic. So I'm proud of a lot of these records because of where these dudes take it. But it's also for me, I never know what it's going to turn into either. You know, a feature is a feature, but it's also, you know, I tell people you're going to do stuff because you like it. You know, and a lot of times cats get paid money to do it, but they're not going to also tell you the truth and why they're doing it. It's a job also, it's a job first, always. But you have to like what you're doing when you're picking these features to do, or if somebody asks you. So and over the years, earlier when I was doing features earlier in the early 2000s, when I started getting a lot of emails to ask me to do verses, I was kind of surprised at that. But then it wasn't saying so much of where I couldn't choose what it was. So it was like either you make this work and tell them to give me another track because I know it could be one better, and that happens. And these songs wound up being at the time like springboards for what I was doing later on in the 2000s, where the beats in these songs and everybody that was coming to me was getting more serious. So I was like, okay, so this is when a lot of people say, "Yo, I got some beats for you. I know your records. I know your sound." And then when you get those beats, they do not sound like nothing close to anything that I worked with on my own. Like, so I try to tell them, no, like let's talk about MROK and Nordic, how they came to me with this project we did with Escape the Yard. When I heard the tracks, R was already in. He sold me just with the tracks alone. And he was like, yo, all I need you to do is these verses are here, and some of them going to have a hook. And then once he gave me that direction, but when the songs was coming, I was like, damn. I was like, damn, these songs sound good. And it's very, very rare that you'll get things like that set up in that way where you're listening to it and you're taking it back like, oh my God, like that homeboy know where to do this. These drops, like, no, they said the drops was there. He knew, these guys knew what they was doing to where I had, my decision was already made. So it's like, it's not always like that, but later on in the years through the features that the beats came to me, I started realizing like, okay, now it feels like they understand me and where the artifacts music come from, where now I didn't have a pressurized choice to feel like, you know, I don't want to just do it because they asked me, and I don't want to make them feel bad if I say no, but these joints was coming. I'm like, oh, so it's like, it's really, really, really good to know that people take into their craft where, and I just want to say this, and it's a lot of times I don't get to say this, but I'll say it. Today, with the way these guys make records, even if we can record in our own facilities, you have to take this serious in a way where there's people like me, people like everybody that's on here that take pride in how these records can be really made and get mixed right and get mastered right. And today that quality has seemed to go away where, because it's faster to get everything online and faster to get your project out there, there's no care in these records when they're being made. So you can hear who's serious when what they doing. But hold on 1 second, somebody calling me. I can't answer. I know it's my man. I just want to say, people need to take more care into making their records today, because when I play records for people, and the difference is when you hear Mick and the Soul Brother. You hear a lot of, you know, I would say the dirtiest records of the '90s was probably Into the Stage, Black Moon, and Wu-Tang first album. But that dirt made what was good in the record because it sounded so gritty. It was their style and it worked. But it was also caretaken in the record on how it was made. No matter how gritty and dirty it sounded, it was structurized, and it gave you a window and where they live in Brooklyn. It gave and where they lived in Staten Island, where you heard these records, you could fit yourself in these pictures and sink into the sound. And that is not happening today because you know I get the digital thing, but I see a lot of producers today are getting their hands a little bit more dirty on these machines because the digital is as clean as it can be, and you can't manipulate. And if you want that sound, these dudes know. They start watching YouTube videos of producers, and they like, you know what? I think I need the machine right now. I mean, you can work on the computer, but you still got to get some dirt on your fingers.
Well, I think that's one of the problems with music now is that it's too clean.
Right.
And anytime.
Oh, no.
Oh, Phill.
In the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out there. They just unplugged him. He just picked up the
back
phone.
when you recorded
There he
on
is.
all right, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
Okay. Yeah, back when you recorded on tape, it was a whole different sound. Like you talk about those Wu-Tang albums and stuff that Beat Miners did back in the days. You know, they're recording on tape. So the sound is not going to be the same now when it's digital. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not going to have that same warmth to it and that same grittiness. So that's one of the things, too, that has changed with the music, how it sounds now.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And you know what, real quick, I want to bring up because I know you stressed over. Speaking of mixing the record and mastering, MROK, you know, you went through a process there, especially towards the end, with trying to get the mastering just right. So.
Yeah, yeah, you know, if you go back and listen to a lot of the stuff from the golden era, it sounds warm, it sounds fat, some of it sounds dusty. It just sounds amazing, but the volumes are considerably lower than the production coming out today. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that all the digital stuff and all the super sparse 808 beats, I'm talking about like trap and stuff like that, it's easier to make that stuff louder because of just the way it's naturally EQ'd. So the challenge of today, in my opinion, is if you want to preserve the sound that we all know and love, you have to do certain things to dirty it up, fatten it up, warm it up, layer it up. The more layers you add, the more muddy things get. The dustier things are, the softer it starts to get. But you also have to push it so that the volume is comparable with like a drill track that's going to play on the same
Right.
online station. So that was a challenge. So I was obsessing over mixing and mastering this album because I wanted it to be fat, dirty, grimy, warm, analog-y, 808s in the back if you have a sub, but at the same time loud enough to hit on a radio station if it came after something that's a little more sparse or modern. So it was a puzzle. So hopefully I did it justice.
No, you did. Look, and I'm gonna say this: that is a lost thing where, I look at it today with the way you make your tracks. Even you, C-Doc, y'all probably can attest to this. For the things we couldn't do with these machines back in the day, whether it be sample time, whether it be using so many racks, and you had the Fat Jam rack just to get these like you said, the warm sound. Today you could do anything with these machines and computers now. So whereas like you said, you can take these beats that might have been so low where when you even sample the sounds, now they're in the machine where you can do the same thing but totally manipulate it in the way you want to. With now I got ample time to stretch this out. I can do this, I can do that. So now these records sound so clean. And I call it clean dirt. I call it clean dirt because you have the levels, like you said, pumping, but it still have the dirt grit in it for a record that we know, like you said, we love to have. And these are the things that kids is learning in school now because they're being taught by people that's like you. That somebody that's like yourself. Where I'm gonna get mad phone calls. That's like yourself that'll say like, you know, they hear these records in certain artists, and they're guys that collect records and still listen to people like us. It's younger people that listen to us that want to have that sound to sound like that, because they realize, they pay attention. Like, you know what they saying? We reached the ceiling. We reached the ceiling with the digital. So they want to challenge themselves and say like, all right, let me go buy these machines. They got new SB12s out right now, where before you couldn't touch an SB12 and you had bang bang all these keys to put all the sounds on just one thing. You watch Pete Rock do all that stuff. You can't even understand it. Now they got machines where they like, look, we're gonna help you. You can do all this now. You ain't gotta be doing tune decay, stretching, not doing all this. So now we can probably get the younger generation to understand. In the production wide sound, we're saying that if y'all do this, you know, y'all understand where we coming from when we saying you got to a point where you have to do something different, where we know already what we know coming from the elder statesman point, but you have these younger tools to mess with now. It makes for all these records that we doing sound so great. So that's why I mean, like, when you have knowledge of these sounds and how to mix and how to master, and a lot of times people won't sit in this mix or mastering session. They feel like, he's the engineer, let him handle it. I'm like, yo, I want to be there. I want to, because it's been like that for me. So it's hard to trust people with stuff like that, even if you're not pressing the buttons or if you're then doing the tracks. You know in your mind, like, this is supposed to sound like this, that's supposed to sound like that. But when there's somebody that's controlling it that is that way, you feel so comfortable because they understand, like, what it is today, what they can do with these things compared to in the past. So it sounds much more beautiful for me to hear these records, knowing that I remember how it used to sound. Now it sounds like this. So it is fun because now you putting out records today in the format of where we used to do in the 90s. But it's 2000, about to be 23, and it feels good.
Yeah. Return to form.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always equate it with the sound. The sound of that era evokes a feeling, and that is the feeling, trying to capture that feeling more than the sound itself. You know, if you can capture the feeling, but a lot of that texture, grit, dirt, whatever is such a part of that feeling that I think, you know, it can get lost very easily. But like I've told MROK before, man, that if I didn't know him personally and somebody just, like, I think when Flatline sent me the first MROK stuff, he's like, yo, you got to check this stuff out. I was like, when did he make this? Because I could have sworn
it sounds like back then, right?
Yeah, it sounded like 91. I was just like, what?
MROK, he's like a master of layering the drums, and I don't hear a lot of people layer breaks, like whole breaks, like this guy, and this is so on point. Like every time I listen to one of the beats, like the breaks are layered like perfectly. And I'm like, that's really hard to do. And the thing that I think people are afraid to do nowadays, like, you know, everyone wants to get the kick in the snare and the hi-hat, and if it bangs really loud, like, you're happy, you know. But like, I want to hear someone go beyond that, like, you know, layer an old school break underneath it, you know, they put you
the two different drum sounds mixed together, like,
yeah, you know what I mean, yeah.
And look, I just like it because you do it. It's like it's on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you're trying to do something. It's what's inside of you. It's what's going to come out.
Do it. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. Breakbeats and samples to me are hip hop music, and like I want to keep those going as long as possible. But I average 4 to 5 layers of drums in every song, so you're getting the gumbo. And you know what? You're getting ghost notes everywhere. The magic is in the ghost notes, baby.
Yeah.
That spice and that funk and all that. And when things are so sparse, there's room for that, and I respect beat makers that do that. But I like all the little subtleties and the ghost notes in there, because that's what, you know, all the JB drums are about, man. So just trying to keep that going.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know you've told me your process before MROK, but I'm still waiting for the MROK drum loop masterclass so that I can sit there and watch you actually do it.
You can't show people. You gotta just keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Well, you can show me. At least
show me your stuff too, C-Doc. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. So to speak.
Wow. This turned into a different conversation.
Yeah,
Come on, Jen. Dirty
Holy
mind.
crap.
My goodness.
I'm out.
We're talking about drums.
So, one of the questions.
See, look, that's why we just say pause.
Yeah, pause.
Right.
Pause.
Holy crap.
So, Phill, I've always been curious, bro. I love I love all your stuff. I love your earlier baritone tip love stuff. And there's an article that you wrote about it where you were talking about at the time, Public Enemy was like huge. And I think you were trying to kind of like capture that amazing sound, layering up beats in your production, and really coming out with that kind of like energy and everything.
Lost you.
Oh,
No.
did you hear me?
We still got you. Can you hear us, Phill?
Oh no.
He's back in the Matrix.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
He's got the
You can hear us okay?
Yo,
There he
MROK,
is.
I lost you for a minute there. What you just say?
Oh yeah, sorry, man. So I was wondering if you could tell people about the process, because as you were writing about it, you were talking about like all the work that went into it, and by the time the album started to come out, like the sound was already starting to change and getting away from all the Bomb Squad layered stuff and going a little different. So can you like tell us a little bit about like your early, like your time with, because we're talking about beat making and production. Can you tell us a little bit about your process and everything?
Okay, well, yeah, that's like a long time ago. We're talking about like over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But, no, definitely at that time, I had graduated from my little Casio RZ1 drum machine sampler, and then I had the Akai S950. And so now I had a whole world of samples. So, and the Bomb Squad production, that's what was happening at the time. So I started to go in and try to, kind of duplicate a lot of what they were doing, and then try to even go beyond as far as just samples. And I guess by the time the Baritone Tip Love album came out, that was like 1991. Actually, it was done in 1991, and the label didn't put it out until 1992. And by 1992, there was just a big change in the sound. This is by now Dr. Dre and Snoop had come out, and Pete Rock and Naughty by Nature. The sound of music was just changing, and I pretty much knew that that sound probably wasn't gonna work for me at that time. But yeah, I love doing that. Just because if you know me, World of Beats, just sample after sample after sample. Like you talking about layering samples. If I could show you, like I have a book that shows all the samples I used for that album, and like the lawyers at the time said, it's a litigation nightmare. You can't even clear all these samples because there's thousands of samples, really. And so that was one of the reasons we really ended up not doing as much as we wanted to with that album, just because it would have been a big, even as it was, even though it was kind of a small release, we still got sued a number of times.
Wow.
For that. Yeah, we got sued. We got sued by Tana Gardner for Heartbeat, and we got sued by Ice Cube of all people.
Wow.
Yeah, we got sued by a number of people. Some of them we luckily didn't get sued because the guy who owned the label, he like had connections. He knew some people and was able to get. But yeah, that would have been a nightmare if we had to try to clear all those samples.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Damn, I hope you kept a copy of that complaint with O'Shea Jackson's name on that.
Yeah, I never got it. The label got it. They settled it and took care of it. I never even saw any of it.
Well, that's that album is definitely a rarity these days.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it was a lot of fun making though, and for those people who did get it and get their hands on it, they let me know they appreciate it. So that's good enough for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's dope.
Hell yeah.
That's dope. All right. So Chuckified?
Yeah, I think what's interesting, I've been listening to you all talk, and we've got several producers on the call tonight. All of the technology and where it is now is kind of like, if you had that back in the late 80s, early 90s, your mind would have been blown, right? Because something like doing a Bomb Squad type mix wouldn't be nearly as difficult as, literally doing pause tapes and all of that. Do you feel like, and this is kind of to you, MROK, or anyone that wants to answer it, you kind of talked about the minimalism of today's music. Do you think that the new tools are really more appreciated and utilized by the older heads, and the new stuff, they're just kind of like, man, I don't need all this?
That's a good question. I don't fully have the answer. I think that when, for example, like Isla Instruments came out with the S2400, which is basically like an SP1200. It's got the look and feel of an SP1200, and I think people who grew up with those machines are like, oh my God, like I can finally get something that's basically like an SP1200. I've always wanted something like that. Or like Limit, he's definitely an MPC guy. And those machines echo back to, years and years ago, decades ago. And I think they have an appeal to guys like us because we know what we can do with them. A lot of us wanted those machines back in the day, but we couldn't afford them because when they first came out, they were usually in top level studios and crazy expensive. And the accessibility that technology has now, a kid in his bedroom can go on GarageBand and select a beat that's already pre-made, drop it in, add a bass line that is already also pre-made, and then maybe just do a couple like notes on top of it, and they have a track. And I don't know if they just look at the machines and they're like, I don't need one of those. Why would I use one of those when I can just do everything on my phone or my laptop? And this is the kind of music that's hitting right now on the radio and the clubs in the mainstream. So being, someone who's pushing 50 years old, I don't have my finger on the pulse of the newer generation of beat makers, but I see a lot of people just defaulting to computer programs and not digging into the machines unless you appreciate the history of where this all came from. And you either grew up in that era or you were fortunate enough to have someone kind of educate you and immerse you into that era. And it's like, oh, that's why they use those machines. I'm gonna do the same thing and expand upon it.
I think that's a solid answer. And may I ask a follow-up that do you think it's also because of the fact that music these days is portrayed as so disposable? Has something to do with that? The disposability of music?
Man,
as it were.
If you think about, okay, we'll talk about golden era, right? So albums would come out and it'd be a while before the next album by that artist came out. It was very rare that someone was putting out multiple albums in a year. That just was unheard of. And when you did get the album, like you spent hard money on it. It was, $12 for vinyl, or it was like $9.99 for a cassette. And like you invested in something that became physical property to you. Yeah. And now it's everywhere. It's expected for free. There's so many releases coming out every day that to try to break through the clutter and have your stuff go to the top, it takes a huge marketing budget, and or like acting foul and having drama around you versus the quality of the music. And I think it has become more disposable. And so maybe a lot of younger music makers are like, well, why invest money in it? Like, it's just going to come and go. I got pre-made beats on my computer. I'm just going to hook these up and rock with it and go. I sound like a bitter asshole man right now, but that's
no, because you know what? It's everything now is too DIY. The kid next door can go, I'm going to be the next Cardi B. Okay, good for you. But it's all too It's all too damn DIY, too plug and play.
Mhm.
And you know, there's everybody on the screen, on the bottom part of the screen, put a lot of hard work in everything that they do. It's not just picking up your phone and going, okay, I'm gonna be a rapper now,
Right.
which is what they're all doing now.
Right.
Right. There's no
I
heart.
feel like that harkens back to what Elder Sensei was saying, though, to where, like,
Yeah.
you know, for me, I'm perhaps maybe the youngest person in this chat. I don't know. I'm 30 years old. I'm a dad, so you know, am I really young anymore? I don't know. But
Yeah, not if you're a dad. No,
Yeah.
you've graduated.
What I will say though is that the tool is only as sharp as the craftsman, right? And I think craftsmen, you know, we recognize each other. We know when somebody's been working on that flow. We know when somebody's been layering the dirt and the dust into that beat. And we know when they can get that sound, but do it a little more minimally and still be able to like pull it off in a new kind of way that's different and dope. Like you know when someone's been practicing their cuts because they sound super sharp and it's not just some sloppy bullshit on the record. Like, and you know, especially with art. I mean, you know, as you look around these arts, like, or you look around different spots, like, you know, some fool just put up his hand style, just decided to start writing that yesterday. And then you see somebody else further down the street running wild and big and rampant, and it's been there forever. And there's a reason. The tool is only as sharp as the craftsman. But that's the thing is that craftsmen recognize each other. I think Lemon knows he's a craftsman.
Yeah, I mean, we're given like all the tools now that we need, even more. Like when I first started making beats, I remember like me and my friend, we lived outside of the city, and there was no record stores. And so if you had a sampler and you had no records, you had no drums. You know, so we would go into the city, try to find. And at this time, like we were young, you know, we're just kids, like at junior high, we didn't know what records had drums. You had to like find. Hopefully, you could go and blindly, you know, pick a record that had something that you could use, you know, until you really like knew people that could teach you. And there was no YouTube back then, you know, you couldn't just download a pack of, like banging ass drums. You really had to like research and do your homework, you know, and like fail a lot. You know, I remember there was so many nights where like we would like make a beat and like we had whack drums and we didn't know how to chop. And like you just have to like go through that whole process. Now it's like, man, you could buy Alchemist drums on the internet, you know, and like you have these banging ass drums, but it's like too fast and too quick. And everyone, like a million kids could have now, you know, which is dope for him, you know. I mean, it's a business, you know. But there's something that's like kind of lost in the whole art of like, you know, like grinding your way through like drafting something, you know what I'm saying? Like all these machines, man, they do everything. The technology is out of control, you know. But for me, like, actually, like, it's still about like picking the right samples and knowing how to chop them and how to mix them and, you know, picking the right drums. It's still like a work in progress, you know. Because I hear, you know, there's tons of people here. The drums sound so clear and crisp, and it's because I know, you know, they just buy them, you know, which is fine. Like I said, it's fine, but there's so many beat makers that are talented, but they don't have their own sound because they're just using everyone else's, you know. Yeah. And if you're good enough to like tweak that stuff and make it your own, then hey, that's dope, you know. But if you're just trying to load it up with a beat that has gigs and gigs of pre-bought stuff, you know, if you're not tweaking it, then you're not really like learning what it is about to like be like a producer, a hip hop producer, you know, specifically what I'm saying, because that's what it's about when you're a beat maker. And like, you gotta like grind on that sound, the samples, and like really make it your own or try to do something, you know, different with it. So technology is great, man, but everything is becoming so easy nowadays, you know. Yeah. And like he's saying, like if you, it's all about, you know, the person that's behind the tool, you know, I guess, you know.
Yeah, you got to be a student of the game. You know what I mean? Like Limit Break is a student of the game. DJ MROK is a student of the game. Like you can hear it. You can hear it because I was also listening to DJ MROK in 2017, and I want to tell you that like it was dope back then, and it's better now. And so like that's because like it's. The craft was continually improved and worked on and analyzed and looking back and, hey, what did I like about this? What did I not like? Oh, what's this tip over here that I can learn and apply to my own art form? And like, I do the same shit with MCing. That's why, you know, I always tell people I explore all styles. I want to be able to kill every type of beat that comes across to my table that I think is dope. Like, but I want to kill every style. And so you have to keep trying and innovating and incorporating all of this into your own, you know, your own art form and how you want to display it to the world and shit. So much respect to the students of the game, much respect to the craftsmen out there, because, you know, if you just continually improve yourself, you improve the music, and that improves the culture around the music and improves the expectations and the realities of what we can do.
You know, Nord1kone for president.
Yes.
The word
Well
of
said.
the day
Well said,
here,
sir. Seriously.
right?
Well said.
The word of the day, they keep saying it. Craftsman.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't a modern day craftsman anymore.
Yeah.
They don't exist.
I think
Everybody's running around looking for the bag. That's all they're interested in.
Give me the loot. Give me the loot. Nah, give me the MROK for president all day.
Chuck D's question is, what do the producers, beat makers think of more arranged instrumental albums like Pete Rock, etc.? Can it be a self-contained subgenre without the MC?
Absolutely. People don't know this on here, but I make beats, and absolutely, like, go listen to Return of the SB. Listen to that and tell me that can't be its own genre.
Right.
That's an amazing project, and instrumental music will always have a place in this world as people express themselves and just say, hey, you know, I'm going to stand by these beats. I always tell this guy to put his own beat tape together, like, you know, because they're hella dope. Like, people want to sink into the atmosphere that he creates without the sound of my own voice on it, and I don't blame them for it, because that's what I do. And then I just apply my own shit. Same with DJ MROK. Like, how successful have his beat tapes been? Hella successful. They're hella dope. Like, people love listening to that. So there's definitely that genre for beat makers out there, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, one of the first instrumental albums I ever bought was DJ Shadow, you know, Introducing. You know, that's fully instrumental.
Yeah.
At the time, like, I was really into more like the straight up like East Coast boom bap. And when I heard that album, everyone was telling me about it. I was like, this is amazing. You got to hear this. And I was like, whoa, you know, this is crazy. Like, I can't really practice my cuts to it. It's just like too different, but it's an amazing album. You know, I kind of grew to really love it. And, you know, it's just like, it's ahead of its time when it came out. But there's so many beat tapes that come out nowadays. I mean, I hear kids on YouTube, everywhere, Instagram, they, you know, amazing instrumental beats, you know, they're just all over the place. There's just tons of it. Like, I'll never hear all of them, you know, like in 1 week, there's so many releases that come out. It's just amazing. There's so much talent out there, you know. I mean, for me, I always want to work with the MC. You know, I grew up listening to that kind of music, so that's what I do. And, you know, but yeah, instrumental music, obviously, man, you know, it's been around for years, you know.
Yep.
Sure.
Most definitely. Oh, I want to give a shout out real quick to the homie Alric, the New West, coming soon. Something else, but it's crazy good. I'm telling you right now. You heard it here first.
Looking forward to hearing it, bro.
It's
Oh
good.
my God,
You've heard it? You've heard it?
I've heard it. Yeah. So one of the other label situation that I work with, we're putting it out, and oh my God, this record is fucking ridiculous. It's so like on some other shit, man. But yeah, shout out to my homie Chris Nab who produced it. Real quick, and I don't want to get off the subject real bit, but he sent me the rough mix of the one joint, and I literally wanted to quit making music that day. I was just like, I cannot fuck with this.
Wow.
Fuck with this. The record just, I was so dope. But anyway, that's something else. But it's coming soon. Coming soon.
That's right. That's how I felt when I heard what El Sensei has up his sleeve that like isn't coming out yet, but he's working on. I mean, there's this guy. Right. This guy has a few joints out there that are just incredible that haven't come out to us yet, and I had the privilege of like listening to what he's like. Oh yeah, this is the Artifacts record. This is what I'm going to do next. and so you know, and I'm somebody who like I'm starting to get to that point myself where I'm thinking like 3 or 4 records ahead. And, you know, and so like But man, I heard this shit he came out with. I was like, oh my God, I'm just gonna stop. Like, there's nothing better. Like, he's at the apex. Like, he's a top MC, top production, top cuts. Like, some of the dopest shit ever. So, hip hop is doing it's doing very well. It is alive and well, and it is continuing to manifest even within the youth. They might, do it a little different than you're used to or whatever. But like, there's always going to be some jam out there who comes up and recognizes what everybody has done before him and tries to do it better. And that's the healthy spirit of competition within MCing and hip hop production and all that shit. So, don't sleep on the youth. Stay out there, man. And a lot of it is not what you're used to. Once in a while, they're going to surprise you and shock you and do it better.
It's so true. And then, you know what? I'm a firm believer in not putting an age on anything. If it's dope, it's dope. You know? Fuck it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, if it's dope, the problem is I feel like most of the new artists don't have a real why. Like, why are they doing it?
That's a good point. Great point.
Back in the day, like you all eat, sleep, breathe fucking hip hop. And the why now is to get that one, viral sound. So you make, however much money and you're out. And there's no real passion for the craft. That's what I see as the problem. This is my 2 cents.
Because they ain't craftsmen. They're just
right.
They're vultures capitalizing on it. You know what I mean? Yo, this is what I can go eat down there. I'm gonna go eat it. Like, but
there's no artistry. There's no craftsmanship. There's no nothing.
Yeah. Right. Might as well head over to OnlyFans and just do videos.
Right. Like that guy that paid off his sister's student loans. You ever see that? Oh my God, that was funniest shit ever.
From OnlyFans?
Yeah. That's an amazing place.
Yeah.
Lots of opportunities out there.
I was like, oh, you got to find the video. It's hilarious. The guy, he like kicks open his mom's door. And he comes in and he just whips this bag of money at his sister.
Yeah.
I have seen that shit actually. Yep. My wife's seen that shit.
Yep. He's like, yeah, I just paid off your student loans with my dick. Yeah, oh, shit is funny. Shit is funny, bro.
Wow.
Yep.
Coming in hot.
Yep.
What the hell?
Yep. So there you go.
I got another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
For either, MROK and Nord1kone, did you guys? Let's see if I can word this correctly. MROK, did you send Nord1kone the beats? Nord1kone, you put the verse down and then you went and got the guest? Or did MROK, did you take the track, get the guest on it, and then Nord1kone, you wrote to it? Or was it just whatever made sense at the time?
I'll let MROK elaborate, but in my opinion, in my mind, it was a mix and match, which was good for me because let me tell you that when I heard Phill Most Chill rhyming, I got scared. And I am not a person who gets scared at other MCs. But when I heard the way Phill Most Chill attacked this track, I said, oh, fuck, I don't know if I can rap after that. And but it made me just come at it harder, you know what I mean? So I think he threw me the one, so he was like, yo, you're going to learn now today, son. And then I did. So it was great.
You killed every track, just to be clear. But I was just curious about the process, how that all came together.
Yeah. And I second what Nord1kone was saying. It was organic, it was fluid. Sometimes there was already a feature in mind, and other times it was like, yo, Nordic, spit on this beat, and man, we need to find someone that'll sound great on this. And then, it was kind of putting the feelers out there. But I knew from the get-go that for Shogun Style that Chip Fu had to be on that song. That was a given. And I knew Cool G Rap needed to be on Muzzle Flash just because I had those voices in my head when I made those beats. So sometimes it was like that, and other times it was more fluid. And yeah, man, it was just so cool having all these MCs come together from all different parts of the country and just sounded like they were all in the studio with me. It was dope.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, as a younger generation hip hop fan, like, I'll just tell you that my own journey with hip hop is probably very different than your guys' is. Like, and like I didn't start listening to Cool G rap and like till I was 12 years deep into listening to hip hop. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm so like, and then once I discovered that, I was like, holy shit, like what am I been missing? Right. And then you go back and you discover the Big Daddy Kane albums, and like the one exception to this rule is for whatever reason, like, and this is, you know, fate is fate. We're all here on this podcast together, but I always listen to Public Enemy from like, you know, I had those tapes in my Walkman as a young like skateboarder at like 8 or 9 years old, and I would listen to them over and over and over again. But like as far as the rest of these OGs who were just killing the game and shit, like I didn't get to discover the artifacts in El Sensei until I was like 17 or 18. And then when I did, I was like, whoa, this is me, right? This sound is who I am. And so for me, hip hop has been so much a part of just like discovering who I am, who I want to be, like where I've been, where I'm going. And so to do a project like this, where it's something we're putting together today in 2022 and it being released now with these people who literally helped me define my identity and help me show me my strengths or point out a weakness that I had and help me grow through these things by like normalizing how I felt and who I was within music. Like it is a huge honor to be a part of this shit. And especially with MROK and Limit Break, you know, because this is the Outsider Syndicate crew. And like, while MROK might be in Chicago, I really feel this is a crew. We are together in this as brothers within the syndicate, and to be able to perform at this level and to do this with so much respect, honor, and props to everybody else in the culture was just, it was amazing, man. It was an amazing opportunity, and I'll always be grateful for it.
Yeah. Amazing.
Bro, so eloquent, man.
I was telling MROK the other day on the phone, or I don't know if I mentioned this, but I feel like this album is like, it should be really big for this area too, the Bay Area, because there isn't anything like this coming out of this area right now, you know. And for him to like from the coast side to like put out an album with all these legendary MCs, which because they're all legendary and all these great artists, it means a lot. I hope people like understand just how big that is, like for us, you know, living here, and for fans that grew up to listen to this kind of music, how big this album is, like just for this whole area, really, you know. Hopefully, you know, people really kind of get it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because you don't, these opportunities don't come up every day. You know, like I don't know how many songs we're gonna do with Cool G Rap and Phill Most Chill and like, you know, Craig G. Like this is not something to be taken lightly. You know, not in my mind. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, we took it on real serious. I mean, you know, for us, it's just it's an amazing opportunity, man. And like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, that's because DJ MROK, the stuntman, was behind the wheel this time. he was like, woo, flying off the cliffs and, you know, taking it at high speed. And look where we're at, man. We're all here together. And so it's, you know, it's a celebration to be here with y'all for sure.
Yeah. I want to reiterate that I'm hoping, and I've told MROK this a number of times, that this is the album that finally shows the world his mastery and his genius and his talent, because sometimes you gotta, you know, lead the horse to water and
right,
because they don't know.
You said it well the other night, C-Doc, when you said the magnum opus, like
yeah, it really is.
To me, I was already like peeking off of, you know, wax nostalgia, like, wow, this is incredible. And you know, I take myself out of the picture because it's, you know, I don't need to be on the same platform. To me, this is like MROK's like grand vision coming together, and I just got to be one of the speakers who ascended to power. I probably carry more bricks than some, but everybody's bricks, you know, weigh different weights, and so that's for sure. Like, so you bring your own weight to the table here, and it's been an amazing opportunity to see, man. And I hope this shows everybody. I hope everybody recognizes your greatness and your genius in this one, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Yeah.
The Jeep, I mean, he killed it with all the projects. The Jeep Beast was amazing too,
yeah,
man.
Oh yeah,
that was like incredible, man.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Jeep Beats is one of my favorite albums that we've put out on the label.
Yeah,
so, you know, and of course this one, you know,
yeah,
not to sell anything short. Yeah.
Another
so,
one.
Oh
Yep.
my God.
Busy. Man stays busy at his craft.
There you go.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys. I'm like sitting here and it's like I'm like gobsmacked. Usually I can talk a lot, but I'm just like, how do I? So I'll just put it this way. Thank you very much. And I'll say it again, like I might have been the producer on this album, but you know, it took a village to make this album the way it is, and like I could have just put out like the beats and made a beat tape with this, but you know, Nordic, it's your mastery on the lyrics, and Limit, it's your mastery of the cuts, and then everyone else that stepped up and got on the mic, and you know, L and Phill aren't on the podcast anymore, but you know, guys like them, everyone just brought their own flavor to it and made this like amazing melting pot and gumbo of like a hip hop project. And if if everyone who was on this didn't play their part, it wouldn't be half of what it is. So I appreciate the love, but shout out to everyone that worked on this, and thank you. It was amazing.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The fact that you were guiding the ship though keeps it all cohesive, and even though there are all these different styles, it feels of a cohesive piece, and you know, it's dope, man. I can't say anything else. This record's great. It's fantastic. You guys put your ass in it, seriously. Tower of Babylon. If you haven't heard it yet, then you're sleeping, and go check it out now, because you can go stream it anywhere you want. Grab a CD.
And Limit, those cuts are dope, dude. Like I was digging, like, because I didn't realize that you did the cuts, and so I was listening to it today, and then when you all said that, I was like, oh shit, that was an MROK. Like those cuts are fucking dope.
Yeah, I did some of them, and then MROK killed the ones he was on. I was just listening to his, and I was like, damn, yeah, he killed it, man. You know, thank you, I appreciate it. I hope, you know,
that whole record is.
Thanks to MROK, man, for even inviting me, because I have like a lot of respect for his what he's able to do, you know, his skills, and when someone else asks you to do something like that, it's like, oh, okay, you know, thank you, because you know, he's capable of killing the whole album. So I was just like, all right, you know, I'll do my best, and so I appreciate it.
So, and this, you know, in the Syndicate, this shit goes both ways, because one of my favorite songs like ever, and I told you that I'm like a fan of the other dudes within the Syndicate, but the IMF Blitzkrieg remix, and Limit Break made the beat, but MROK handles the cuts, and that bullseye direct hit, madness begins, of tapping your chin, like I love that shit. Like I go on like binges of just listening to that song over and over again, and you know, that's a Syndicate production as far as I'm concerned. It's you know, these two dudes like putting their heads together, like how are we gonna make this the dopest shit ever? So if you want to hear my opinion of the dopest shit to come from the crew, beyond the Tower of Babylon, of course, you gotta go ahead and listen to Blitzkrieg remix, because it's incredible. It's off of the IMF and Limit Break's Reign Supreme album. MROK handles the cuts on it, and this is like top-notch lyricism and delivery from the crew over big booming breaks, and then the cuts are just fantastic. So, you know, and that
he killed it.
Yeah, he killed it. He killed the fucking cuts on that one. I love that shit.
And thank you, brother. So this is why I love the Syndicate. We're just like a well-oiled machine, and just like love working together. And you know, like Nord1kone was saying, we're all fans of what each other does, and we're all here to support each other. There's no competition where it's like egos in play or anything. I mean, if there is competition, it's kind of like G-Rap and Kane, where, you know, they would call each other on the phone, like, all right, we'll listen to this verse. All right, well, I got this. But it's iron sharpens iron versus like, I want to cut you down and like leave you hanging.
Right.
There's none of that here. It's all about, you know, all ships rise, you know, when the water comes up. So that's what this is about.
Absolutely. And like, you know, like people recognize that when I know it's hard, because within the Syndicate, you have, you know, MROK in Chicago, you have Chef Mike in Detroit, and you have D4th up in Canada, and so sometimes you don't get to see the crew's camaraderie until we, you know, fly up to destroy verses at MROK's house or whatever. But in the end, like, we're just fans of each other. We try and sharpen the blade, you know, IMF and I are often like in lyrical competition with one another, and we have totally different styles. But I'm such a fan of his, and he's a fan of mine, and like we always try and outdo each other. But we outdo each other to bring each other up and to make the sound better, but not to get into each other's skin or ego, just to try and do it better. Right? That's it.
Yep.
Again, going back to that word craftsman, just continually trying to get better and better at the craft. And you know, that's something I picked up from him right away. I learned as soon as I met this guy, I was like, oh shit, he's like, I consider him a master, and then he's like still a student in his mind. So you know, it continues to build.
Yep, that's dope. That's what's up, and that's hip hop. That's what hip hop is. That's what it's supposed to be. You know,
Right.
For real. So.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw this out. I know it's early because this record just came out, but you know, any idea of what's next on anybody's plates? Anybody? I know you guys have a lot of irons in the fire. So, is it too early yet, or do you guys want to hint at anything else coming down the pike? So to
Well,
speak?
I would definitely say Nord1kone and Limit have a beast of a release coming out very soon. So I just want to plant the seed there, and I'll turn it over to Nord1kone and Limit to talk all about it.
I told y'all that when Limit and I got together, you know, that first day, I hit up my wife. You know, we were just dating then. I said, babe, a celebrity is coming over to make beats. I said, there's like, this guy is like, I can't believe this guy is coming over. You know what I mean? And so the track we made that day was called Respect the Skills. And what is it? 3.5, 4 years later, Respect the Skills, the full length album is coming out on October 28th via Black Buffalo with distribution by Fat Beats. It is a double vinyl. It's a long record.
Wow.
We had to make it hella dope. So, you know, similarly to this one, we knew we had to have an ill ass cover. The vinyl itself, since it's, you know, side A, B, C, and D, it's a 2 vinyl. So I think A is baby blue, and AB is baby blue, and CD is like candy pink. And so it's definitely something for you collectors out there. And I will tell you, it's serious. You know, MROK's heard it. Not many people have heard it, but this record is serious. And it's definitely that Syndicate style. And we're stoked to have MROK do the cuts on Enter the Cypher for us, for sure.
Dope. Can't wait.
Yeah, hopefully. It took us a while to make it. You know, there was a lot of songs that we kind of scrapped and decided weren't right, you know, to release at the time. Maybe later on down the road, you know, we'll put those out. It's a long album, but I feel like it moves along pretty well. I just kept making songs until I felt like it was done. You know, so hopefully people feel that when they listen to it. You know, I don't feel like it's too long. You know, I just feel like it flows, you know, just about right. You know, but we'll see when it comes out. What happens?
Right. We'll see. Right now I'm wearing the t-shirt for it. I don't know if anybody can see this. Let me step over here. So this is the artwork of the Respect the Skills album cover. Obviously, you know, there's myself on the microphone and Limit Break on the cuts. And this artwork was derived from an actual photo taken of me and him working together on the stage, killing shit. So we're doing, if you pre-order the album, we know it's expensive. It's $50 plus shipping from Canada. So, you know, hit us up with a DM. We got these t-shirts. So, you know what I mean? We'll probably send you one until we run out, because we're just trying to, we know that this is a special. We want to bring it to the people, but we recognize the price and the value. So let us know, man. We'll ship you a shirt. We out here until we run out.
There's some dope artists on here too. I mean, we had Elder Sensei is on. Bless us for the verse. The song is called The Lab. It's streaming now. It's on all the streaming services and all that. We have a Direct from Canada, who's a really dope MC. Direct, Lee Ricks is on there. IQ from the NEM2, really talented artists from Canada. And, we've been kind of talking to for the past 4 or 5 years, you know, and we're able to make some pretty good music with them. Hopefully, you know, people dig it.
Yeah, not to mention Side 4. And then, of course, you know, with a Syndicate record, you have to have the Syndicate on there. So we got Jimmy Beats, we got the IMF, and more, right? So I don't know, it's a dope one. You'll hear it on the 28th. Right now, the 2 singles out are from the Syndicate, and the Lab featuring El Sensei on the 30th. We drop in High Velocity, and then we got a couple more coming out before the record drops on the 28th.
Word up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
That actually, you guys made me think of a great question real quick before we wrap this up. But for Tower of Babylon, how did you know you had enough songs? When was, did it feel right? You were like, you know what? I think we're good now. Or,
well, I'm going to tell you, the way this guy was making me rap with these fast ass break beats, I was like, oh my God, like, can I continue to be in this car with him as he's driving it all crazy? Like, how long is it until this ride is over? Like, I don't know, right? So, I was ready to be in it for my mans until he was, pushing the limit and emptying the gas tank. But I feel like he had a lot more to go. So, I'll let MROK answer that question. But I think it's gone on forever is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, man. I just kind of felt it like, okay, 12 tracks feels really good, especially like what Nord1kone was saying. Like the pace of this album is faster than, a lot of stuff that's out right now where the tempo is slower. And I love all that stuff. So I'm not dissing any of that stuff, but you can only do so many tracks at that level where you just start to burn people out. So you got to know when to just pull the plug and say, all right, that's it on this one. But, that's not to say that this, I'm not going to stop making beats the way I make beats. And I love faster tempos. I've always loved faster tempos. So you may hear some more of this stuff in the future, but it won't be, 12 tracks, I think is good for now.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what's up. All right. Well, it's been a hell of a show. And I want to thank all of our guests for coming through. Nord1kone, Limit Break, MROK, your family here as always.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Can't wait to have you back at some point.
Yes, sir.
As time
much
provides.
love from the Bay Area.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And real quick, shout out to Phill Most Chill, El Sensei for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And Tower of Babylon, Nord1kone, MROK. And it's streaming now. Spitslam record label group. And there you go. And CDs are available at spitslamrecords.com. And keep an eye out, keep an ear out for, we might put it out on some other format of choice down the line here. We'll see. Working on some things.
What could that be?
Yeah, working on some things. Some of the wikis, some of that may be possible. We'll see.
Yeah.
We're what we come up with. So we'll see. See what we can come up with. But Flatline.
Yes, sir.
Who do we got coming through next week?
Man, one of my favorite MCs of all time.
Uh-oh.
OC will be on C-Dog again next Tuesday.
Tuesday, we will be back with OC, the legendary OC.
Wow.
Yep.
Flatline got mad hyped about that.
Oh yeah.
No.
I don't blame him. I would have been hella mad hyped too. Damn.
So join us next Tuesday for that. Really looking forward to it as usual. Again, thank you everybody. My co-host Jennifer O'Jenny, So Chuckify, Flatline. Yep, CM Lugo, OC. Yes. I am your host, C-Doc. Like I said before at the top of the show, like and subscribe. And follow us on social media. We're out there. Yeah, the DITC God OC. Shout out to Mr. Chuck D in the chat tonight. And we will see everybody next week. Thank you very much. And I just clicked the wrong tab, so now I'm going to take us out. All right.
Peace.
Peace.